Your life is filled with things that drain your energy, cloud your mind, and hold you back. But real power lies not in adding more, but in letting go. The ancient Stoics knew this well. To live freely, you must silently remove what weighs you down. Ready to reclaim your peace? Let's begin. The fear of what others think controls more lives than any external force ever could. People live for approval, adjust their actions to fit expectations, and silence their own desires to avoid judgment. But what is this fear really worth? Most people are too consumed by their own struggles to be constantly evaluating yours. Marcus Aurelius knew this well when he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." The reality is that you can never control another person's thoughts, nor should you try. The moment you stop seeking validation is the moment you start living authentically. Quietly remove the need to please others, and you'll find freedom in making decisions that serve you, not the faceless crowd you've imagined watching. But sometimes, it's not the opinions of strangers that weigh us down, it's the people we allow close. Toxic relationships are subtle thieves of peace, draining energy through manipulation, negativity, and constant conflict. Many hold on to these relationships out of guilt, fear of loneliness, or a misguided sense of obligation. The Stoics would say this is foolishness. If a person does not add value to your life, if they bring only stress and turmoil, why keep them near? Epictetus reminds us, the key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. You don't need grand exits or confrontations. Simply disengage, lessen your involvement, and fade away from those who no longer align with your peace. Some burdens aren't people, but habits, small, seemingly harmless patterns that accumulate into destructive cycles. The extra drink at night, the mindless scrolling in the morning, the late nights of procrastination, these habits seem insignificant until they shape your reality. Seneca warned that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Destructive habits thrive on inertia. They repeat because they are familiar, but anything repeated long enough becomes an identity. The solution is not in dramatic declarations or rigid self-punishment. It is in small, quiet changes. Replace a harmful habit with a better one. Choose action over delay. Make the process so gradual that it feels effortless. Over time, what once felt like second nature will feel foreign, and you will wonder why you ever entertained those behaviors at all. Yet, even after shedding bad habits, many still carry the heaviest burden of all, the illusion of control. People attempt to dictate how life unfolds, micromanage their future, and manipulate outcomes, believing that enough planning will ensure certainty. But as Epictetus taught, some things are up to us, some things are not. The more you cling to control, the more powerless you feel when life inevitably disrupts your plans. The truth is, there will always be factors outside of your grasp. Release them. Direct your energy where it actually matters, your own actions, thoughts, and responses. Everything else, let it be. There is immense power in surrendering the illusion of control. Closely tied to this illusion is the weight of unrealistic expectations. Many spend their lives climbing ladders that lead nowhere, chasing perfection, or holding others to impossible standards. But expectations are often self-imposed prisons. The Stoics understood that suffering is not caused by reality, but by resistance to it. When you expect things to unfold a certain way and they don't, frustration follows. If you expect perfection from yourself or others, disappointment is inevitable. Instead, practice detachment from outcomes. Set goals, but do not depend on them for happiness. Accept people as they are, not as you wish them to be. Life becomes lighter when you stop burdening it with what should be and start accepting it as it is. And yet, even when people lower their expectations, some remain trapped by an even deeper compulsion, the need to always be right. Arguments become battles to be won, discussions turn into competitions, and every disagreement feels like a personal attack. But what do you gain from proving others wrong? Ego satisfaction? A fleeting moment of superiority? Seneca wisely pointed out, a wise man hears one word and understands two. The truly wise have nothing to prove. They value understanding over victory. There is a quiet power in letting go of the need to correct others, in choosing peace over petty disputes. Ask yourself, would you rather be right, or would you rather be at peace? More often than not, The latter holds far greater value. But external debates are nothing compared to the internal battle happening every second, the relentless noise of the digital world. Phones, notifications, social media, endless streams of information, they consume without giving back. People believe they are in control of their digital consumption, yet check their screens compulsively, as if on autopilot. The Stoics would see this for what it is: distraction, mental clutter disguised as connection. The mind needs silence, space, and stillness. Remove the noise, and you create room for clarity. Unfollow accounts that add no value. Turn off notifications that disrupt your focus. Reduce screen time not as an act of discipline, but as an act of self-respect. The less external noise you allow in, the louder your own voice becomes. And that voice? It often whispers with doubt, feeding on negative thought patterns that quietly shape your life. The inner critic tells you that you're not good enough, that you'll fail, that you're behind. But thoughts are not truth. They are narratives, often exaggerated, sometimes completely false. Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters. When negative thoughts arise, observe them, but do not engage. They are like passing clouds. They do not define the sky. When you stop believing every thought you have, you gain control over the mind instead of letting it control you. But even when the mind is clear, external environments can still overwhelm. A cluttered space is often a reflection of a cluttered mind. Look around. Do you see disorder? Objects collecting dust, unnecessary items taking up space, drawers filled with forgotten things? The Stoics valued simplicity. They understood that possessions should serve a purpose, not create distraction. The more excess you remove from your surroundings, the more mental space you create. Decluttering is not just about organizing, it is about liberation. Keep only what adds value. Discard what weighs you down. A simple environment leads to a simple mind, and a simple mind is free. Finally, nothing creates more suffering than unnecessary comparison. The mind measures constantly success, progress, happiness against others. But comparison is a losing game. There will always be someone ahead, someone who seems to have more, achieve more, be more. The problem is, you are comparing your reality to someone else's highlight reel. Marcus Aurelius said, "It is not death that a man should fear, but never beginning to live." Stop looking sideways. Your journey is yours alone. The only valid comparison is between who you were yesterday and who you are today. Free yourself from the need to measure up to illusions. Every one of these burdens, fear of judgment, toxic relationships, destructive habits, the illusion of control, unrealistic expectations, the need to be right, digital noise, negative thought patterns, physical clutter, and comparisons can be silently removed. You don't need to announce your changes. You don't need permission. Simply let go. When you do, you will realize that true freedom was never about gaining more. It was about shedding what was never necessary to begin with. If this message resonates with you, take action. Not with words, not with declarations, but with quiet, deliberate choices. Like, comment, and subscribe if you're ready to embrace a life of clarity and purpose. But more importantly, start now. Remove one thing, then another. Silence the noise, simplify the mind, and walk forward, not weighed down by the past, but free to step into the present.